Hey there YouTubers, this video is about the end of an icon, the closing of G&K's Pasty shop in Marquette, Michigan. It's a ramble.
Alright, leaving G&K's, sadly. Hopefully I can get out of here. Maybe I can get out of here. Ooh, that's tight. Can I not hit anything? I didn't hit anything.
This video is tough because it's kind of sad.
Okay, I'll get rambling when I get moving again. We were gonna stop and eat, but the place she wanted to go to get some vegan stuff was closed, so we're just gonna head back down.
I've been coming to the UP for a long time now, and getting a pasty and a kudigi at G&K's was as important as anything in me coming up here. And it's right across from the Superior Dome. So in this ramble, I'm gonna kind of bounce around from idea to idea, but hopefully it comes out making sense for you.
Come on, Vinny boy. Okay. So we'll talk about G&K's. Like I said, I talked to Brian for a few minutes. Great guy. But he's ready to be retired. Well, first I want to say, if you want to get a G&K's pasty, again, the ones I think are the best, you got until December 31st at 6 p.m. and by that time they might be running out. You never know. I had an idea that I thought would be really cool, but he's ready to be retired. He's 66 years old. He gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, works 16, 18 hours a day. You know, and that's when I told him I was sad, because I found out the same day I was dealing with Kiki. And I even told him, I said, you know, my initials, how could you do this? And then I realized how selfish that word was. And he's like, I'm a human being too. And I said, well, it's like that star athlete, you know, that is gonna retire, and we all like, oh, don't retire, you still got more good years to entertain me, to do for me. But he owns the building. He owns a lot of buildings in the area. He's gonna be fine. He's got a lot to keep him busy and a lot to relax about. But if you want to, again, get what I think is the best pasty and kudigi, you got till the end of December, end of the year. I did ask him about Ralph's, and he said they're just doing reconstruction. They'll be opening again one of these days, so that's good. That's the second best kudigi, I think. And you could argue any of these, they're all personal preference. But the idea I had for him, I said, well, you should find out from the Guinness Book of World Records what's the biggest pasty ever made. And he just looked at me. He's like, I've made enough pasties. And then I asked him, where would you go if there's a day that you don't want to make your own pasties, but you want a pasty? And he's like, I guess you go to Lowry's. And Lowry's is okay. I mean, I'll eat Lowry's, but I like G&K's. And people that watch this, you know, there's a lot of people. Lowry's does pretty good business too. They got 2 stores. I just went by one on 41, north of here. They make a good pasty, but it's not as good as G&K's. So that's what he suggests. I might have to, when I get in the search, I might have to keep trying different places to see if there's a place. And I asked him, what about the people that work for you? I said, you've had some that have worked here a long time. I guess he's got somebody that's worked there 30 years. And they're more the employee type. They're not looking to take anything over, you know, change the name and take it over. But it's fresh right now, you know. He said he might sell the recipe at some time, but you'd need millions of dollars if you wanted to come by his place and start making pasties. So there's that. But I again, you know, it's hard when you're a person like that, because that place is an establishment. You know, he's been there 47 years. That is it's fabric of the community, and it's when you lose a place like that, it's hard for a lot of people. And I was gonna tell people to try to get him shipped, but he said, nah, that boat has sailed. And as I was in there, somebody came in and asked what he could do to get him shipped, and Brian told him we're not doing any shipping. So if you want to taste the pasties I rave about for what, 5 years now, maybe 6, like I said, you only got a little bit of time left. And as we're going, you're getting a little bit of the back ways of beautiful Marquette. It's a 3-way stop. So hurry on up. Brian is an amazing guy. If you still go to the GeneKaysPasties.com, you can read his story. It's a pretty impressive story. Really hard. Like I told you, the amount of work the man does is amazing and impressive, and in some ways has to be just grueling, and you can understand why somebody is ready to be done, you know, ready to be retired. But since she couldn't get her food, I'll get to eat the Kootenai back there. It's not too far. Won't take too long. It'll still be fine.
I got frozen pasties and a fresh Kootenai. You'll see the Kootenai at the end.
Alright, we got some traffic here. I thought for a second of trying to do an interview with him, you know, putting him on the camera and everything. But he was kind of busy in there, and I could sense a difference in him. I can't speak for anybody, but I would say his major emotions seem to be a little bit of relief. Probably he's come to terms with the decision, and there might have been a little sadness in there, because he understands that he's a big part of the community, you know, that it's an institution. But he also felt a lot of pressure from that, which is unfair of people to do to somebody, you know. We get one life. If you love making pasties and you do it for a community for 47 years, I think you've earned your retirement, you know. So Gene K's, best pasty I've ever had. I won't fight you if you disagree, but I'll argue with you. Alright. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're in Marquette, get them while you can. He even had to he showed me the sign, he had to put a limit because people were coming in and buying 30 or 40 mini pasties at a time, you know, trying to stockpile them. And he said, I just can't. I had to put a limit on it. I can't make this many pasties, man. But that shows you what he means to the community. You know?
He said if he does sell the building or the recipe, he won't sell the name. It's an homage to his mother.
I'll tell you what I told him. I will be back before he closes, is my plan.
Again, I'm happy for him and sad for myself and others, because we'll miss out on this awesome comfort food.
Oh, I wanted to add one more thing from the other video about Gene K's closing. Again, sad, 47 years, but Brian has earned it. I don't know if I said this, but when I first started talking to him, I could tell that he's been getting some pushback from like locals, a little bit upset with him for deciding that he doesn't want to work 16 or 18 hours every day anymore. And maybe that's a type of loss too, because, you know, the loss of the familiar. For 47 years, say you're 47 years old and you're from here and you've been eating those pasties as long as you can remember, or you grew up here and you moved away, and when you come back, going to that nostalgic place that means a lot to you is so much so important to you, a lot of us get a little bit, because that's a loss to us, we get a little selfish and we stop realizing that, people have lives. You get one. Take the S off lives. You get one life. And that person, as much as they've loved doing that, they want to enjoy the rest of their years. So kudos to you, Brian, for doing it as awesome and as well as you've done for all these years. And enjoy your retirement. Soak on a beach somewhere warm when you need to. I know I'm happy to have indulged in, I can't even tell you how many pasties I've had. I've had more than I should have for only being a visitor up here. There's times I've taken a dozen or more pasties home in my van at the end of a season. So, and I got some now, and like I said, I'm probably coming back up and I'll grab a few more. And I'll see how long they'll last in the freezer. Might have to try to learn how to make my own. Might even make some good vegan ones. We made vegan ones that weren't too bad, but maybe we'll get a real good crust going like the pasties were so good. Everybody gets to live their life. Be sad, remember. Congratulations to him on an excellent career. He just didn't make food, he made memories. And he made a lot of people happy through his food. Because that's the kind of food it is. It's not foo-foo fancy food. It's from the heart food, And to me, that's usually the best kind. I'd rather have that than a $200 meal that I'm told is supposed to be awesome. I enjoy when people cook from their heart. So, thanks again, Brian.
So as I told you, this is a Kudigi. If you've never had one, they're great. All right, it's Kudigi time. And the pasties are in their freezer. Let's take a bite of this Kudigi.
Not vegan right now, am I? Have a great, wonderful day.
Here's a pasty from the past. Their crust is fantastic. That sauce is great. I hope you're able to get one. You'll have a great and wonderful day.